This looks so good. Look at that. Hi guys, welcome to a little vlog. Today I'm going to be making some matcha. AJ and I are gonna go on a hike today. This is kind of just a little preparation before we head out for our hike. And yeah, come along with me, let's make a matcha, hang out, and it should be fun. If you're new here, I make a lot of matcha content. It is really fun for me just because AJ and I love matcha. AJ's my boyfriend. He is just obsessed with matcha. I think we started getting into it when, I don't know, a couple of years ago. It's been a while now, but I've just been getting more and more into like making matchas, lattes at home. I can make it the way I want to, and then I'm also saving a lot of money doing that. I know a lot of people aren't huge fans of matcha, but to me, matcha is just so good. I think you have to like make it right and have a good matcha in order to actually like it. But it is an acquired taste. If you guys are coffee people and you want to see me make a latte, I can definitely make a long form video on that one. Just filled up my tea kettle with water and I'm gonna start to get that warming up off on the side. If you guys have not already gotten a tea kettle and you make matcha a lot, I highly suggest just purchasing a tea kettle. It'll go a long way. I bought that one off of Amazon and I think it was like 20 bucks. I've had it for like 4 or 5 years. It's lasted a really long time. It heats up in like 1 minute, which is amazing, and it saves so much time. A little hack I also do is when I'm making like pasta, I will heat up my water off to the side, pour that into the pan that's already like preheating, and then that way like the boiling water is already going and it's so much quicker. While my water is heating off to the side, I'm just gonna quickly go through what exactly I use. That way for anyone who hasn't heard me say this, you just know right off the bat what I'm using. This is my little matcha bowl that I use. If this is dirty, I will just end up using another little glass bowl, but this is like the matcha bowl that I got in my Amazon package. This also came with it. It's a whisk, as well as a matcha spoon and a little sifter. Did get a little holder. It's like a glass holder. Let me see. Oh yes, here it is. This is the glass holder that I have for my matcha whisk. So it literally just goes on here like that, and then you can store it in your cabinet like that. It's perfect. And then I also did get this glass with the matcha kit, which is super nice. I think the matcha kit was like 25 bucks. Definitely purchase that off of Amazon if you're starting to get into matcha. As far as matcha goes, it's really important to use a good matcha because that is like the foundation of everything, obviously. I try to use like a ceremonial grade matcha or just something that's a little bit better than like, you know, some of those like big packages that you get. I know like Costco has matcha. The last time I tried it, it came in like a big package. It just wasn't that good. I didn't like it. I personally prefer using a little bit of a better matcha because your matcha latte will taste so much better. This is the one that I use. This is just from World Market. And then I also do have another matcha that I use. This is another matcha that I like. Kind of just like switch in between these two. This one is new, so I'm gonna be using this one because I already have it open and the matchas turn out great with this. A lot of people like to measure their matcha, but I don't like to measure. I really should try measuring one time and just see how it turns out, but because I just like to make it quick and easy, I just kind of eyeball it. Honestly, in my opinion, I love matcha, so more matcha is always better for me. And a little bit more caffeine is nice too. I'm just gonna take a couple scoops and add that to my sift. So I'm making a matcha for me and also AJ, so that's why there's gonna be a little bit more matcha in here. Got my matcha in the sifter. I'm just gonna take my wooden spoon and just kind of sift it all through, make sure that there is no lumps. You want it all smooth and sifted out. Perfect. then your matcha should look something like this, if you can see. I always like to clean up as I go. Try to like put anything away that is not needed anymore. That way I have like a clear workspace, and also it doesn't build up and I don't have to clean up as much at the end. But so sad, I'm almost out of my matcha, so I'm gonna have to switch over to the other matcha that I just showed you guys, which is totally fine, but we run out of matcha really quickly here. My hot water is all ready to go. I'm gonna just preheat my whisk and go over off to the side near my sink and just pour this over to make sure that it's all covered. And I guess I don't really know what the reason is for this, but I just saw people will stick their whisk into a bowl with hot water and just kind of let that sit. But I'm just doing this really quickly, so I'll just go off to the side and just give it a nice little pour over. There we go. Now it's nice and preheated, so we can start the official matcha. Here's my matcha bowl. I'm gonna start off with just a little bit of hot water. We wanna make it a paste, and then we will add more water into it. I'm gonna add just a little bit for right now, and then we'll add more later. Okay. Now I'm gonna do the owl methods. I'm gonna do circles right now, and then after we add more water, I will do W's. So that's kind of the motion that I will be doing. Okay, our matcha is all whisked together. There's no clumps in here, it's just nice and smooth. So now we're gonna add a little bit more water in here, and then we're gonna do our W motions, and that'll get it nice and like frothy and just like so creamy and delicious. Okay. When whisking, make sure not to press too hard down on your whisk. You can ruin your whisk, and that is so sad to see like a broken whisk, especially since this matcha kit just like it does wonders for me and it lasts really long. I've had this for a while now. I haven't had any need to go get a new one. If you just take care of your equipment and your tools, then it lasts a really long time. Okay, my matcha is looking nice and frothy. I will insert a video of what it looks like, because if I try to tip this over, all of it will fall out. It'll be a disaster. I want to move on to the next step. So this is something I don't really do that often. Kind of like to just keep it simple with our matchas because they are just so delicious as is. But AJ loves cold foam. That is like one of his favorite things that he likes me to add to matchas and coffees. I don't usually do the cold foam just because it takes a little bit of extra time, and I'm not like, I don't love cold foam. I like it, so we really only do cold foam if it's like a special occasion or we have more time. So I'm gonna make some cold foam. That's where I was trying to get at, but I'm gonna just take this glass, and I typically will do it in a bowl, but I feel like this is kind of fun to do a cold foam in, so let's do that. Here is the heavy whipping cream that I'm gonna be using. You can just use normal heavy whipping cream, but I am gonna use a dairy-free one. I try to keep my stuff dairy-free. AJ likes milk, so he isn't dairy-free, but I just try to have dairy-free stuff if I can. Really good. I don't think he tastes a difference, and also this pairs perfectly with my matcha because I make like a coconut-based matcha, and I believe this is made with coconut. I'm gonna add this into my cup. You can use a bowl, you can use a cup, you can use whatever you really want. I'm just gonna be using this cup today. And I'm gonna give it, you know, a good glug or two. I can always save this if I make cold foam. It's always great to save, and you can just whip it back up again. I'm gonna make like that much of the cold foam, and then I'm gonna add some sweetener in there. I think a little bit of maple syrup would taste delicious with coconut. Or, hold on. I'm gonna actually scratch the maple syrup just because it kind of has a more prominent flavor. So instead of that, I'm gonna do light agave because this isn't like, it's not gonna pull so much of that flavor and it'll kind of keep it all nice and neutralized. So I'm actually gonna do this one instead. And I have put this in cold foam before and it tastes delicious. It gives it the perfect amount of sweetness without being like too crazy. I'll just add like that much, maybe one little bit more. And then I'm also going to add some vanilla bean paste. This is the vanilla bean paste I use. I love this one because it's like a squirt bottle, so you can literally just go squirt it into it. Oh, okay. That was a little heavy, but still will be perfect. Also gonna add a pinch of salt in here just to kind of help even out the flavors, and I think that'll really like pull all of the flavors together. Now we're gonna add just a splash of this coconut milk. That way it doesn't become like whipped cream. It'll just kind of be like a nice fluffy cold foam. Perfect. And then this is really important. You need a whisk unless you wanna hand whip it together and get your workout in for the day, but I'm just gonna use a whisk. I'm gonna whip this together until I see the consistency that I like. I just want it to be nice and fluffy and light and airy, so I will show you guys as soon as I see that. Okay, my cold foam is to the consistency that I like. It's still liquidy, but it has doubled in size and is light and fluffy, so that's how I know that it's ready. So I'm gonna just set that off to the side, and then we are going to prepare our cups. This is actually optional. If you like to use to-go cups and reuse them, that's awesome. If you have like a special cup that you like to use and then just wash it over and over again, that's great. I like to use these disposable cups. I like to use the disposable cups just because they are just quick, easy, and perfect for on the go. So we are gonna go on a hike pretty soon, so I am going to use these ones. I'm just gonna fill this up with some ice and then come back. Got the ice completely filled to the brim because I am an ice girly. I like a lot of ice in mine. It's always better when it's cold. So let's move on to what we're gonna fill those cups with. If you guys have seen any of my shorts, you know that I am a huge coconut water fan and I love to make coconut water matchas. So this is the coconut water that I am using. I typically use half for just one quantity, so I'm gonna be using this full bottle today, and these are from Costco. I like to get the pink ones because the pink ones are always sweeter and that'll add a lot more taste and flavor to the matcha. So definitely pick up some of this. If you don't have a Costco membership, that's totally fine. You can always pick some up at like any grocery store you're at. I know that there's a whole bunch of other brands out there. Let's add this to our cups. Now I'm gonna add some coconut milk to the top of these. This just kind of helps make it a little bit more creamy. Obviously, we are doing the cold foam, so it's gonna be creamy regardless, but this is typically what I do for my everyday matchas that I make. I just like to top it off. I'm gonna do a little bit less just because we are going to add some cold foam on there, just about that much. Perfect. Okay, so we want to make sure to leave plenty of room for our cold foam. The white just makes such a nice like ombre effect, and it's gonna just keep on getting better, especially when we add the matcha in the cold foam. Let's add our matcha in there. I'm just gonna give this a nice little swirl before we add it to the top. If you guys have seen any of my videos, you know that no matcha goes to waste here. So we are going to take some coconut milk, add that to our bowl and give it a nice little swirl. Make sure that we are not wasting any matcha at all. So I'm gonna top this off to this one just because that one got a little bit less, and that's looking good. Let's top this off with some cold foam. I have my pre-made cold foam over here, and we're just gonna add it to the top, and make sure not to do too much because when you add the lid on, it'll just overflow and you'll have a huge mess. Trust me, I know from experience. Oh, that is looking gorgeous. Look at that. Wow. Oh my yum. I am so excited for this. I might have to take this ice cube out because it's looking a little large and in charge. This looks so good. Look at that. Wow. AJ's ready for some matcha.
AJ is ready for some matcha.
You want to say hi, babe? This is my lovely boyfriend. You may have seen him before, but he's my matcha fan. Just
Matcha
like
Mar.
me. We're perfect together because we love matcha. So, I'm gonna add my lids onto these. This one will be mine because it has a little less cold foam. And I know AJ is a huge fan of his cold foam, so we won't skimp for him. You're welcome. Perfect. We're gonna give this a try. Here is your straw.
Look at the blending.
It's extra light today because we added that cold foam on top, so that is why it is lighter. But typically ours look darker just because we do coconut water and coconut milk, but we added that cold foam on top for a little extra something today. Cheers.
Really
Yum.
good. It's
Wow.
probably my favorite this week.
See, I told you he loves cold foam. That is just his favorite thing. That's why I made extra so I can make him another one tomorrow.
What did you make it with?
So good.
It tastes like vanilla ice cream.
It's so good. It's like amazing. And there's no dairy in this, which is phenomenal. And there's also no added
dairy.
sugars either. So unless there's any added sugars in this, which there is not. So no added sugars. That's fantastic. We like to see it be a little bit nicer and cleaner ingredients. So this is amazing. This is the matcha that he loves and craves, but you know, a little extra something with that cold foam on top. Yum. I am in love with this matcha. You can't go wrong if you make this at home, I promise you. All right, guys, that is it. I'm gonna go sip on my matcha and get ready to go for our hike. This is like so good. I highly recommend that you make this matcha at home if you can, because you're gonna love it. It's so delicious, and you're also saving some money on top of it. So sounds like a win-win to me. Make sure to subscribe and give this video a like if you have not already. I'm so grateful for you guys watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.